Welcome to A Few Thoughts About, the show where we dig into thinking and how it shapes our experience of life. Each week, I share insights and observations to get you thinking. No long lectures, just quick, thought-provoking episodes to shift perspectives so that you can make the change you want to make. Let's get into it. Hey, before we get started, I want to ask for your help with something. I love answering questions, right? I love putting this Q&A shows together, and I'm looking to do one before the end of this year. So this is coming out toward the end of October. So I would love to have a Q&A show sometime by the end of the year. But in order to give you A's, I need Q's. So I want to ask you, what is on your mind? What questions do you have for me? What questions would you like answered? It can be on anything, except politics. I won't answer politics questions. But other than that, please send me your questions. I actually have a site set up where you can do exactly that. If you go to scottpinier.com/podcast, there's an opportunity there where you can submit a question. Please do that. I'd like to have all question submissions in by the end of November. And then during December, I will put together a mega Q&A episode. It might be long. It might even be 2 different episodes. But either way, I'd love to be able to answer your questions. So again, it's scottpinier.com/podcast. The link's also in the show notes. Head over there. Send me a question. I'll get you an answer. Let's do the show. Well, hello there, and welcome to A Few Thoughts About Who You Are versus What You Do. I think 36 episodes in, that is the longest title yet. A Few Thoughts About Who You Are versus What You Do. Even though it's a long title, I feel like it's really nailing what we're going to talk about. And what we're going to talk about is the difference between your actions and who you are. So often, we define ourselves in very limited ways. One of those ways is as an alcoholic. And the more that I've learned about this, the more that I've worked with literally thousands of people now, the more that I've grown myself and kind of looked at these things, none of these behavior patterns define us. I don't believe that people are alcoholics. As a matter of fact, I believe that label probably stops people from making changes in their life sooner because I'm not an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings. There's this idea that if we have a problem with something, but only certain things, we have to define ourselves by it. So when it comes to struggling with alcohol use disorder, the thinking has been for a long time that we have to define ourselves. I am an alcoholic. And I've never found that to be useful. As a matter of fact, I've found it to be something that holds us back and stops us from actually making the progress that we want to make. So I wanted to talk about this idea a little bit. And I wanted to kind of shed some light on a few things that for me made a massive difference in my journey. And I hope they help you. One of the first things I started to notice is that I didn't define myself in a lot of other areas of my life. Right? I have different roles. One of the roles I play as a father, one of the roles I play as a husband, one of the roles I play as a coach, one of the roles I play is as a community leader, as an uncle, as a son, right? I've got all of these things. None of them individually are who I am, but it's something that I do, right? It's how I show up. It's sort of a container to think about, how to act and how to be in a certain situation. The same thing is true in changes that I want to make in my life, right? I was at a point struggling with alcohol that I really felt like it was taking over my life. And I felt that way because it was. I felt that way because I was thinking about it from pretty much the minute I got up with a raging headache throughout the day as that headache faded. And then those thoughts started to turn to, how am I going to get some more alcohol, to actually drinking the alcohol, to feeling that, and then going to bed and doing it all over again. Alcohol was taking over my life. But that was a portion of my life. That was a phase of my life, right? That was a period of time for me, roughly from when I was in college through about 8 years ago. that alcohol sort of ran my life, right? That alcohol provided the majority of thinking in my life, but it was never, ever who I was. And you know what? There was a period of time when I was in college and college ran my life. I never defined myself like on a deep level as a college student. College was something I was doing. College wasn't who I was. Alcohol was something I was using. Alcohol wasn't who I was. And there was a lot of freedom for me in not defining myself that way, because what it meant was that whatever I was dealing with at the time, alcohol was something that was in my life, that came into my life and can go out of my life. You see, if I'm an alcoholic, that means I can never stop thinking about alcohol, that alcohol is going to surround my entire life. But if alcohol use disorder is something I'm struggling with and want to leave behind me, well, then I can just leave it behind me, like thousands, millions of people have already done. So being able to be really clear on who we are not, right? We are not alcoholics. We are not our behavior. Our behavior is a manifestation of the way we think. Our behavior is a manifestation of the lives we've lived and the way that we've learned to see the world. Certain things make sense to us, and so we operate in a certain way. That doesn't define us. So what does define us? Like what is that then? If I am not an alcoholic, then who am I? Well, let's start simple, right? We're humans. We're humans with human brains, which, by the way, is part of the reason that we end up being stuck with alcohol use disorder, right? Because it's not our fault. Our brains work the way they work. They can get stuck in this loop that has nothing to do with who we are as people. It has everything to do with the fact that we have human brains. So we can start there. We're humans. But even more than that, right? We are the things that experience life. One of my absolute favorite quotes is by a guy named Carl Sagan. If you don't know who that is, look it up. You're welcome. But he said this: "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." So if you listen to Carl, we are the universe. We are a manifestation of this incredibly crazy and weird, ongoing, expanding universe that we all live in. That's who we are. We're not an alcoholic. We're not a Democrat or a Republican, right? We're not a bus driver or a coach, right? We're humans, and we're more than that. We are part of the ongoing, unfolding universe that we all live in. We are that experience. And the sooner you can see that, the sooner any of us can see that, the sooner we can put down all of these labels, and then we can get down to what we were actually made to do, which is experience this life in all of its beauty and horror, in all of its ups and downs, in all of its difficulty. When we recognize the fact that we aren't defined by a single word, that what we are is the universe. We get to know ourselves, we get to see ourselves, and then we get to enjoy this experience that we have for only a brief time. You may be hearing this and you may be thinking, uh-oh, Scott went full woo on me. And you know what? Maybe I have. But as I've been investigating this stuff and thinking about this stuff more and more, it's become more and more and more and more clear to me that we are not our behavior. No one is. We are the experience of this world. And if we can connect with that, I've yet to see that go wrong. Everyone I know who has been able to see this or connect with this has felt a tremendous relief at putting down all of the labels and all of the things that we carry about quote unquote who we are, and instead embracing the reality that our job is to be here and be that part of the universe that's getting to know itself. Well, there you go. What do you think about that one? It's a little bit of a departure from where I normally go, but I'd love to hear from you. Head on over to scottpena.com/podcast. You can send me a note. You can tell me you loved this. You can tell me you hated this. You can tell me to say more like this, right? Whatever it is that's on your mind, I want to hear from you. scottpena.com/podcast. That is it for me. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll be back again next week.